You know, we are all about our college football and certainly our college football players. Georgia is one of the top states in the country that produces top high school talent. We talk about it all the time. It's Georgia, there's Texas. I know Louisiana boys want to talk a noise. They always want to talk about how good football's there, and obviously Ohio, California. But Georgia, every year, Mike, is putting more guys in the NFL. And I'm just talking about generally kids that played here, went to high school, wherever they end up going to college. And so one of the young men that you got a chance to see over the last 4 years, he's now at Stanford, his name's Terian Williams, is in studio with us, and we're going to chop it up with him because I think his story is interesting, and I also think he's doing amazing things with his NIL and his career so far, which really, by the way, hasn't taken off on the field quite yet. Terian's not even starting at Stanford yet. He will be, but This is him just getting it in and putting in the work, and as we like to say, hustle and grinding. So, Terian, man, appreciate you being in here. What's going on with you today?
Everything's going good. Appreciate y'all guys bringing me on to the show, and definitely blessed to be here.
Well, Thank you, man. And by the way, I know you just said Dad's at work. We got to give Dad a big shout-out because I know Pops is always listening.
Yes, sir.
Mike, his father and Justin Fields' father, they listen to the show quite frequently.
Right.
So we want to give them a big shout-out and say, hey, guys, we appreciate you guys listening and all that. I want to start first with your high school career. You went to Johns Creek. He was all-state all 4 years. Couldn't went anywhere, right? You got letters and you went on visits. What were your visits, by the way? Where did you go?
I went literally everywhere. Florida, Kansas State, Texas Tech, Stanford, obviously, Kentucky. I went different spots my sophomore year and then my junior year, and that COVID hit. So that's when that took a lot of visits out the way, but definitely was blessed to get the visits in.
And then you made your decision to go to Stanford. So what was that decision? Why did you go to Stanford?
Definitely, they always say it's a 40-year decision, 4 for 40. Definitely, the connections you make out there, the networking, seeing different people that's on the same mindset as you. Just walking down campus, I'm seeing, great, whether it's astronauts, people working in NASA, people working in the government, professional athletes, everybody trying to make a difference in the world. So being able to walk next to people like that is definitely just one of the main things that had me at the school.
Yeah, everyone talks about Stanford, the farm, and how beautiful it is, and obviously the academic history speaks for itself. And do you have when you were making the decision, were you thinking as far as I want to get to the NFL?
Definitely, always NFL is always on the mind, but it's definitely somewhere that can further develop me as a man, help me create the foundation I need to make an impact in the community here, and then start working that networking around the world, connecting with different people to be able to make that change.
And Terian's got a 4.0 GPA, Carl. So that's you and I would probably not be Stanford material.
No, listen, when we had this conversation about, you hear him say 4 for 40. That phrase is, what are you going to do after football? Right. And by the way, Andrew Luck had this same conversation. Okay, I remember talking to him, and he could have went anywhere, and he was like, I'm going to go to Stanford. And we were like, what? Because he was in Texas at the time, and everybody wanted him to go to Texas. But it was all about what I want to do down the road. So when you made that decision, obviously a lot of folks here in Georgia were disappointed because they wanted you to stay close.
Yes.
They wanted to be able to see you play. But in high school, 4 years, he was first team all-region, first team Fulton County, all-state. So you got all these accolades, and everybody is praising you. But I want to talk about, getting this NIL going because Mike and I are curious about this. Listen, we hear all these guys are making, and I don't know, Terian, you can tell us, $50, $100, $150, $200,000, and we're saying, is this real money? Like, are you seeing this kind of money? And if you are, explain to our audience what that's like and what's going on there.
Definitely. First of all, NIL has become, an aspect that college athletes can now give back to the community, which is the main thing that I'm looking at. It's not necessarily now you're rushing to the league. Now you can be able to provide for your family and provide for your community in college. So definitely there are deals out there. It's rare that you'll see, $100,000, $200,000 just coming in right off the bat. But if you work to it, I know I have a lot of, whether it's high school athletes or even college athletes, even some of the big names asking me, what am I doing in the NIL space? How am I reaching out to companies? What does that look like? It's definitely, something that you just have to work at the same way that you work on your craft, whether it's, whether we're in the studio or whether you're on the football field. It's the same way that I just reach out to companies, basically like a elevator pitch, as if I'm, trying to sell them something. I'm selling myself, and I'm showing them why they should invest in me, why I'm good for their brand, and the same reasons why I would be good for their brand, they're good for my brand. So ways that we can work together. And a lot of my a lot of compensation that I receive goes back into the community, as I did this past Christmas with the providing homes for 10 different families, groceries and different things like that. So definitely the money's coming in. It's just the aspect of what you're doing with that money when it comes in. If you're giving back to others, definitely blessed that NIL has been able to do that. So that's something that I've been doing.
Man, it's unbelievable stuff, guys. That's why we want to get Terian in studio. Terian Williams, guys from Johns Creek, defensive back for Stanford. And again, NIL, we hear, as Carl pointed out, $1 million deals for some players. Does Stanford have a collective, or is this all on your own initiative to go out and get these things?
We just recently picked up the collective, so we're getting into that NIL space. Definitely, especially with Stanford being the alumni base that we have, the networking that we have, is definitely something that we're getting up on. Me personally, I jumped on it, once I touched the college base. Obviously in Georgia, you're not able to, receive those NIL deals yet. So once I got out there to college, I started reaching out to these companies, started, branding myself, building my brand.
Real quick, the state by state laws are different, and that's why you were able to do that.
That's why.
Okay.
I know certain states, so they're able to do that based off the state laws. So once I got to California and touched base down at Stanford, I got right into it, reaching out to different companies, building my brand, and building all that.
So, and by the way, last Christmas he just said it, housing, groceries, other goods to Atlanta families.
Right.
Not California. So
Right.
he's getting this NIL there, and he's coming back to the crib, and he's helping people here, which is absolutely incredible. When you talk about this entrepreneur, in you, where's that come from, by the way?
Definitely both of my parents. My mom, she's a business teacher at Clarkston High School. Definitely shout out to her. Appreciate everything that she does. She's definitely
What's your mom's name? Give your mom's name.
Tammy Williams. Yeah.
Give your mom's name.
Williams.
She's embarrassed right now. I see her
Yeah,
back there.
We did offer Mom a chance to be on television. We're on Twitch and
Yes.
YouTube, guys, by the way. And
Yes.
she
She ducked out.
Miss Williams going to be getting calls. Girl, I heard your son on the radio.
But yeah, definitely her the entrepreneurship mind that she has definitely helped me. And then my dad's myself, Terian Williams, police officer in DeKalb County, definitely instilled in me, whether it's the hard work, and if you're going to do something, you got to be the best at it. That's something that we're definitely pushing at, NIL space. We're just pushing at being the best at it on the field and off the field. So it's multiple things that come into that landscape.
It's amazing because I can put myself in his shoes. If I could do what you've acquired. If I was 19 or 20, the first thing I'd be doing is buying a Ferrari, or a Lambo, and you're putting money because we're friends with Warwick Dunn, and again, that's the kind of altruistic spirit he's always had his whole life after dealing with losing his mom and having to come up the hard way back in Louisiana. So this was just something that was instilled in you from the family. It's in the DNA.
It's in the DNA, definitely.
That's awesome, man.
It is. You were nominated for what? The Hustle Award, right?
Correct.
This year. What is that? That's an NIL award?
Yes, it was the NIL Summit. This was the second year they hosted it. It was the NIL Summit. It's up for the Hustle Award. Basically, the different people that show the entrepreneurship in the world, chasing after those deals and showing the hustle, outside of just what you're doing on the field, on the court, or stuff like that. I know some of the people that I was up against also was Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, who's also at Stanford.
Angel was at LSU, right?
Yes, Angel Reese at LSU, Cameron Brink, that's also at Stanford. Those are two big names I was also up against. And my guy that won it, Jack Betts, he's doing some big things also with like a scholarship program that he has with the NIL money coming through. So it definitely was good to meet the different people I did meet, create the networking I did, and talk about different things that we can do in the future to impact the communities.
It's Terian Williams with us, guys. Corner for Stanford and out of Johns Creek with us here live in studio on Dukes and Bell. Great, it's an amazing perspective on NIL. What is it like as far as equity on the team itself? Because you talked about Stanford, there's tremendous resources because of the alumni base. Silicon Valley just up the street. If somebody wants to help Stanford, they can help.
Right.
But does everybody get similar, or is it really on your own initiative out there as far as players getting a big piece of the pie?
Definitely. The players, we all right now with our collective, we have we split it up evenly. But definitely, from an aspect of how you're reaching out to these companies, a lot of companies want to partner with Stanford athletes, just based off the name itself. So it was definitely, I talked to a lot of the guys, helping them, pick up deals outside of just what I'm doing. I reach out to them and say, hey, go get this deal, go DM this company or contact this company, just to help them out because, I don't want to create like a space in the locker room like, man, this guy getting all this, what about me? So I'm always trying to, help different guys on the team, help their pitch. They always send me their pitches. Even outside the football team, I've had some of the, our ladies basketball team, they're doing big things. Some of them reach out to me and say, hey, how does this pitch look? So definitely just helping them in that space.
Terian, I don't want to specifically talk about you because I think your background, your upbringing, you're always going to work hard. But isn't there a spot here where some guys may get way too comfortable with NIL and may not continue to work like they have to get to this point? See, I think this is our issue, and I say our, is like the guys that didn't get any of this, right, all talk about if I was in school now and what I might get. But a lot of those same guys talk about if I also was getting this, I probably wouldn't have worked as hard to get to the next level or to get to my next goal because I have all of this coming in. Isn't that a part of this as well?
It's definitely a part of it, and that's like kind of like that fine line that they're still trying to work on because obviously NIL is something new. It's definitely part of like if you're getting so much, okay, why do I have to continue working on the field? Or I'll just worry about the money. So I'd say it's definitely something that NIL has included, especially when you're talking about just the collectives, when they're just throwing a lot of money out. I feel like a lot of these athletes have to work towards, making that money or have to show it on the field or show some type of entrepreneurship that they want to work with these companies or, show like they want to post about these companies. They actually want to partner,
Talking with Terian Williams, guys, we just tuned in and we're getting a really good breakdown, comprehensive breakdown of NIL. And I guess the big question, I have coaches who are not happy about it. They talk about putting up some guardrails. Federal legislation seems like that would be miles and miles away. What are required from the people that are giving you money? I guess the question is it simply social media presence? How does an endorsement like that work? What do you have to do?
Definitely. So it always, starts with my elevator pitch, and I give that to them, and then we go into negotiations on what like the deal will look like. Most of the time, it is social media presence, whether it's like a post a week, post a month. Some deals, last only one time where you post, and they'll give you whether it's the compensation or of money, or they actually give you merchandise, or like some deals can last for like a year long. Like I'm currently in my my Alpha clothing line. They provide a lot of my suits that I wear on like game day or out at different award ceremonies. Like that's been a year long thing, and then like we're continuing after we renegotiate, and then definitely I call like a lot of partnerships that I have. I call it my teamwork. So I actually create like a teamwork out of it because I can't just partner with anybody.
Yeah, it's all about your brand, right? Brand is everything. Terian Williams joining us here, talking some football too, guys. We're going to get into some college stuff. We'll talk to him about Georgia, and we'll also ask him about our pro teams because he is an Atlanta boy. He's an Atlanta kid.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to get into the Falcons and the Hawks and all that with him here on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. The suit deal, you get to pick those suits or they just send them?
Both necessarily. If it's a specific color I want, color scheme.
Give me the red.
Yeah, if I like the red, I like that. Yeah, send me that.
Yeah, give me the blue. Give me that navy blue.
Are they sending like a swatch of colors and patterns?
Yeah, it's like different colors, patterns that I can choose from. Or sometimes, I just go to the mail and I get like an email that I have mail here, and I have a new package here, and it's them sending me some stuff. So that's definitely one of my most exciting NIL deals, and definitely blessed to be with them.
Yeah,
bespoke
that's
suits,
exciting.
Carl, custom made.
Well, like game day though.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
he's showing up and he's like, man, where you get that?
Exactly. I love them.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
All right, we're going to come back. We got plenty more to chop up here with Terian Williams, guys. Dukes and Bell, Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. He's at Stanford as we speak. Matter of fact, he just wrapped up the semester. We were just talking about it. Their semesters are a little bit different. I'll let him tell you what that's all about. Management, science, and engineering.
Correct.
At Stanford, Mike.
Yeah. Kind of makes BA in communications look kind of feeble, doesn't it? If we're honest.
All right, we're coming back. College football. We're going to get his opinions on what's going on around the country, the portal, and more. Stay right there. Terian Williams is with us here on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. We are talking to our buddy, Terian Williams. His parents, his mom is here. His dad's listening. And he is a young man that's doing great things. Went to Johns Creek, was an all-state high school football player, decided to go to Stanford. And the reason we wanted to bring him in, if you're just tuning in, just joining us, is NIL. And everybody keeps talking about NIL and how it's changed college football. And it is. But as you're hearing Terian talk about this, and one of our listeners hit us up on social media, Terian, and said, listen, this interview is clutch because we don't get the inside of what's really going on. And so he was just giving us kudos and saying, you're doing a great job in this interview. But, you have 50 NIL deals. Am I right? 50. 50.
Correct.
As in 5-0.
That sounds like a lot, right? It does. Most guys we keep hearing, Mike, we have 2 or 3 or 4. Even 10 would sound like a lot. 50?
Yes.
Okay. And you acquired all of that, for the most part, by yourself, chasing these companies and saying, hey, I want to partner with you. I can help you. You can help me. And they decided to do business with you.
Correct. Yes, I reached out to most of these companies by myself.
And we were talking with you off the air about some of the, the confusion about NIL, and obviously here in the Southeast where there's tons of big-time football programs, and obviously Georgia's got players with lots of NIL deals. Stetson Bennett, sometimes more tangible when you see him, but he's got a chicken finger deal and things like that. But you've got them that range, and some of the money, it ranges from some good to even better and bigger. What about something like Travis Hunter, who you're familiar with, played locally, went to Jackson State? That kind of set the college football world on its ear. It's $1 million. Some of these, and I don't want to put his business on the street, but some of these deals that came to light, it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Correct. Like Travis, we battled each other in high school ball, 7-on-7, played together, and also trained together. But you hear a lot about the deals that they're getting like 1.2 million, $2 million deals. It's not necessarily how it goes down like that. They'll get smaller compensation things, whether it's like small money in certain periods of time, but they don't just get, right out
like a lump sum.
Yeah, like just $1 million. Boom, here you go, come to my school. It's definitely they're putting in work on their end, whether it's community work or doing different posts on social media, but it's never just here's your $1 million, come to my school.
Terian, let's talk about your high school career, man, and playing high school football in Georgia. Great high school football. What was the furthest you guys went at Johns Creek when you were there, by the way?
Furthest was the quarterfinals.
All right. And did the team that beat you end up winning state?
They did not. They ended up losing to Langston in the semis.
Pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah,
Langston's pretty good.
Langston's pretty good.
So you started, though, you were on the offensive side. Am I right?
Yeah, I did offense and defense.
So you did both. You were a two-way guy.
Correct.
In high school. And so you returned kicks as well?
Yes.
Return kicks. Played what? Wide receiver, quarterback? What are we talking about?
Wide receiver. I started high school as a quarterback. That's what I first started as, and then transferred over to defensive back my sophomore year. But my first 2 years, I was also at Parkview. That's where we were. The furthest we went was the semifinals. We lost to that Marietta team.
Okay. With the
Harrison Bailey,
yes.
Rick Gilbert. Yeah, those guys.
Rick Gilbert, yes. Okay. So
he's a playmaker, Crow, although because of your business background, I would worry about copyright infringement with Michael Irvin.
We talked about that. Yes.
Yes, that is true. But your high school career, so you went from off. I saw you throw the football, though.
Yes.
You can throw the football.
I can throw the football.
You see how much money these quarterbacks are making in the NFL.
They make a lot of money.
You didn't think about maybe staying at quarterback?
I did think about staying at quarterback, but it also was a business decision on there's only 32 quarterbacks, on that can play on the field at once. Now with the passing league it is, you're putting out 5-6 DBs on a team on the field at one time. DBs are one of the most positions that get drafted into the league. So it definitely was a business decision that, me and my parents sat down and talked about.
This kid's got his head on.
Yeah, man, it's like, as we like to say, he looked at the numbers. Yeah, man, if you just tuned in, guys, it's Terian Williams the second, Johns Creek star, as Carl said, all state, all everything, now at Stanford, looking to crack the starting lineup. What is your relation with Troy Taylor? Because we know David Shaw stepped down. What's the new coach all about?
Definitely love Coach Taylor. Definitely, make a welcoming room, and I always go to his room and just talk to him. I texted him the other day, happy Father's Day, stuff like that. He brings his family around. Definitely bringing some new things to Stanford. Definitely have love for Coach Shaw. Love what he did. Love how he brought me in. And
he
Coach
recruited
Taylor,
you, right?
Yes, he was the one that recruited me. Definitely love Coach Shaw, everything that he's done. He's very well respected across the whole NCAA. And Coach Taylor's bringing some new love into Stanford, and we're rolling.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. New staff. Now, tell us, you said to us when you got here, because I was like, you're home. You're like, yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow.
Yeah.
What is the deal with Stanford and their semesters and how it works?
Definitely. So we're on a quarter schedule, which only select schools throughout the whole country are on. So we'll have 3 different quarters. We have the fall quarter, which is during that football season. Then we come back for a winter quarter, which ends up going all the way up to what usually people say is a spring break. And then when we come back from that spring break, we have a spring quarter, which just ended last week. So we just had finals last week. So, football, and then most schools, they go back. Most football athletes, they start that summer training in June and July.
Right.
So they'll be off the whole month of May. So during that month of May, we're still working out. We're still at the school doing our school work. And then we'll come home for about a week, 2 weeks, depending on like how your finals go and stuff like that. But we get those 2 weeks off, and then we're back to the grind, back to, that summer workouts.
Starts with Hawaii this year, then they got USC to the Cardinal. And by the way, what's your take? Because you got a really good nose for business, obviously.
Right.
The business of sports is mega conferences, and USC and UCLA leaving to go join the Big Ten.
Yeah, UCLA and USC leaving. It's always a business decision or what you can do best for your university. I'm actually very interested on seeing who's gonna come to that Pac-12, or if they're gonna just leave it at the Pac-10. Or if we're going somewhere, we're kind of like in the dark on if we're going somewhere or how that's about to look. And I've also seen different looks on like certain ACC teams leaving, and I saw that the Texas, Oklahoma leaving. So different things like that. It's going to be very interesting how college football looks in a couple of years.
Is the portal good from a player standpoint? I know you hear your guys, and I'm sure your players around you talk about it. You train here in Atlanta with a bunch of guys that are playing all around the country. We've talked about you, Travis, and all these guys. Is the portal good?
It depends on how it's used. I definitely think it's something that needed to be inputted. But when it came out, everybody said, "Oh, you can go anywhere now." You were always able to go anywhere you wanted. You could leave the school.
Just had to sit.
Yeah, you just had to have that sit. So now you're just able to play, a year earlier than sitting that whole year. But definitely, for college coaches move a lot. And that's something that I noticed in my recruiting. One day you're talking to a coach here. Next day, whether he might be in the league or he might be at a new school telling you to come. So, it's definitely a business. And to see different coaches leave, I think that players should be able to leave. Now, what's determining if you leave? Are you mad that you're not on the starting lineup and somebody's in front of you doing better? Or is it because, your coach left and now they're trying to bring in, you're not the new coach's player. That can be something. You're not fitting the scheme. You're not about to have a scat back in the pro-style offense.
Right.
So it's like it determines on how the transfer portal is used.
I know coaches obviously don't like it because they're trying to build a recruiting cycle. But to your point, coaches can scram like that. Happens all the time. Some guys have put some stuff out there like, since you got, again, such a head for the business. Who was it, Carl? Was it Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State?
Mike Gundy.
He was saying, give me a contract. Let me know you're going to be with me for 2 years or 3 years. So at least I recruit. Does that make any sense to you as a student athlete?
I wouldn't say necessarily a contract, but, when you sign your national letter of intent, that's basically that contract over. But that's basically have to go both ways.
Right.
You have to say.
It's renewable, right?
Yeah, it's renewable. Every year that scholarship's up for grabs. So it's, that has to be something between you and the coach. Like, I'm signing over to you. I need you here with me now.
I don't know if coaches would do that.
Yeah, they won't.
They don't. They don't. I mean, as much as you want as a player to say you're going to be here all 4 of my years and I'm here, no coach with America would promise you that.
Right.
Nick Saban wouldn't promise you that. And he's not going anywhere. It's Dukes and Bell at Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. All right, got to ask you about our pro teams. I know you're a big Atlanta fan being from here. Falcons look like they're making moves, look like they're coming, man. And Mike and I are excited about what is to come. Bijan Robinson, I love the pick, but I want to know what you think with what they've done here with Pitts, Drake London, and things that have happened with our Falcons. What are you looking at? What do you think?
Definitely long-term Falcons fans, back when the Michael Turner Burner days. I think we're putting the pieces together, between Pitts, Drake London, Bijan, definitely, being able to pound the ball is something that we need to be able to do this year. And then, Carolina, the Saints, and Buccaneers, they putting some pieces together too. So it's going to be very interesting on what we can do. And I heard y'all were out there last week, couple weeks ago, looking at them. I'm definitely excited to see how this team looks. I know me and AJ, we used to work out back when, he was in college going to the league.
AJ Terrell.
Yes, definitely. So definitely excited to see what they can do. I know he's up for a big year also.
I think he is too.
Yeah, we love the coach, man. Arthur Smith, I mean, he's a fun guy to talk to. He's super bright. And it seems like now the only question is Desmond Ridder because we've got all the weapons. We've got depth on both sides of the football, and the weapons should take some of the pressure off the QB.
Exactly. So those weapons should be able to take pressure off Desmond. I'm hoping he has a good year. Definitely, the pieces he has around him, he doesn't even have to, do anything extra. He just has to be able to manage the game.
Carl's got him banked for 5,000 yards passing.
I mean,
it's PFF, man. PFF came out
I know what I heard.
with this number, and I was like, 5,200. I'm rolling with it.
And I've been poking the bear going game manager. So we're splitting the difference here.
Hawks, what's up?
We need to make some noise. I want to be able to, see the Hawks go deep. I know Trey Young's up for a big year. This is, I say, a determining year on what they're going to do after this upcoming year, what they're going to do, whether they're going to, trade him or find something new route to go. But definitely the Hawks, we hey, he let out that tweet saying next year is us. So
It's us.
I'm hoping it's us.
Yeah, he did say that. We next is what the tweet was.
Hey, man, I think, first off, you got to love yourself before anyone else is going to
Right,
love you. You
yeah,
got to be
yeah.
excited, to be positive, and set a goal for next year. So why not, right?
Exactly.
Terian Williams, we appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Quick in and out for you with the family. Give your dad our best. I know you're listening, Pops. Mom, thank you, Miss Williams, for coming today. We wish you nothing but the best, brother. We know you got bright things in your future. Regardless of where it goes with the football, we know you're going to be doing things for Atlanta and representing this community the right way. So thank you so much for that, all right?
Oh, yeah, I appreciate you.
And anything you need, you can hit us up.
Right.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely got to shout out, Pops, Terian Williams, Mom, Tammy Williams, she in the back, and then my two sisters, Indy and Imani. Definitely blessed for the whole family, blessed for the community of Atlanta. Continue to support me. What is, my partnerships I have, Alpha Clothing, Oki Shades, and Lethal Rhythms, DJ Joel, he's here in Atlanta, definitely doing some big things. And also, the different nonprofits that I'm also part of Chris Draft, y'all had him, the lung cancer awareness, part of that, and Rowdy White, one of my coaches I had back in high school, him and Coach Helmer, Coach Anderson, back at Johns Creek. So definitely appreciate all the different blessings I've been able to have, mentors in the city. City of Atlanta is definitely blessed. Even on the south side, Coach Dwight Johnson, he's down there. Mr. Davis, Mr. Hayes, different people like that in the Atlanta community, definitely blessed.
Man, can't wait to see you on TV, Terry, and hopefully on the field. And I think someday Crow could be working for this dude.
No doubt, man. And we're going to come check you out. I'm going to try to make a game out there.
Oh, yeah, come on, just let me know.
All right, we're going to try to come out there. Stanford's a beautiful place to see a game, by the way. It's a beautiful place.